Hello everybody, Russian Batman back with another video, and today I got another art video. This isn't like one of those videos I've made where it's like several different characters. This is kind of like one singular art piece. And I just kind of, I don't know, I felt like the divine inspiration to make this. So I decided to make it. I'm like, you know what, it looks cool. I'm going to make it into a video. So that's exactly what I did. So this art piece is basically, it's Donkey Kong versus Mario. That's basically what it is. But I tried to just base it off, kind of just obviously based off the original Donkey Kong arcade. And I thought that would be fun to kind of make it seem like one of those classic posters, you know, that you would see for the Donkey Kong arcade. Not inspired, obviously, by the modern Mario with the gloves and whatnot. And just kind of, you know, based off original Jumpman and original Donkey Kong. So, uh, that is exactly what I did here, and you can see I'm really just most of the drawing is really focused on the sketching because I just really wanted to get the pose right. I really wanted to kind of, you know, get the composition really nice. It has like a kind of triangular composition, if that makes sense. Composition is one of those things I am not very good at, especially like with multiple characters. So that's another reason I wanted to make this, to kind of get my character composition down. You can see here I'm designing Donkey Kong right now. Um, and I give him a little bit of a, I think it's called like original crest or whatever the crest, you know, the gorillas have on the back of their head. The rest of the face doesn't look super gorilla-like. I did try to reference gorillas just to kind of get a reference of the basic kind of anatomy, and I got that really big brow is one thing I really wanted to get. But like the nose isn't very gorilla-like, because like gorillas have like their nostrils are showing, but this one is not. And then I wanted to obviously make them both fighting on one of those Donkey Kong scaffolding things. I don't know what it's called. Here's Mario, and this one was mostly inspired by, there was this video series of like speculative history of like characters. It was really cool. It was like the evolution. It was like shows the evolution of Mario if Mario's design never evolved. It's actually a pretty cool video. I'd recommend checking it out. It was really cool, and they depict Mario with this really kind of big, kind of hooked nose, which is kind of the more the nose he has in the original game, because now you see him with a big kind of round nose. But I wanted to kind of give him that bulbous nose that he had in the original game based off the sprite art, and then I also give him this big mustache to kind of obscure the rest of the face, and I like how it looks. Um, Obviously, it doesn't look like the modern Mario mustache, and that's kind of what I was going for. Then you can see I'm designing the hammer. I had some ridges in there because you can see in the pixel art for the thing, it kind of looks like it's broken up, right? What I mean by that is like if you look at the highlighting on the pixel art, it breaks up at a certain point, and that kind of to me indicates that there's like a little ridge in the design. Also, I experiment with my line work. Yes, I decided, well, not decided. I found out that my kind of the normal you know, kind of brush I use, or the normal pen I use for that, you know, doing the pen work. I found out that that pen, you could actually adjust how thick it is depending on the pressure. So I use that to kind of get some thinner lines and some thicker lines, and I think it really works well because usually when I do my line work, it's all kind of one thickness because I just didn't know how to make it any thinner without going into settings and manually changing it every time. But now it's thinner when I do you know, less pressure, and thicker when I do more. You see, I experiment with the nostrils, but I end up just going normal. And yeah, his mouth isn't really protruding as much as like a gorilla's mouth would, but still. Here, Mario, I kind of give him just a normal cap. Um, yeah, I mean, maybe the cap should have been a little bit thinner just based off the pixel art, but I decided to give him a normal cap. He has the suspenders and all that, and then also I don't give him gloves. I make sure not to give him gloves because the original did not have gloves. He did have gloves in a Donkey Kong poster, and I think that's the first time he's ever had gloves is in that one Donkey Kong poster, but I decided to not give him. Also, I am really bad at foreshortening. I can't get it. As you can see here, I try to make one of the feet like bigger to make it look like it's closer to you, but it just doesn't end up working. I don't know why. I think it's just because I put the other leg in front of the body, but I don't know. I can't get foreshortening. It's something that just doesn't make sense to me. If anyone knows any good videos on foreshortening, that would be great. Just link them in the comments. I'm being honest. I'm just asking for art advice. Um, But yeah, you can see here, I just kind of, just coloring it in, didn't give Donkey Kong the tie or nothing. Just basically big gorilla with a barrel, kind of like what the original Donkey Kong is. So, yeah, if you didn't know, I actually learned this recently. Apparently, Donkey Kong was originally supposed to be a Popeye game until they lost the license, and then they just like said, "Screw it, let's just make it an original thing," and they kind of made Mario and yeah, made everyone else. So yeah, you see, I'm giving him the red suspenders with the blue kind of shirt, which what he originally had. Also, I make his mustache and his hair. I make that dark blue because in the game it's the same blue as the shoes and the overalls. But I didn't want to do that because I thought that'd be a little bit too cartoonish. So I kind of made it like a dark blue, a more muted kind of blue. So yeah, that's what I did. And you can see I'm coloring in the barrel. And then I do this little design on the barrel. I don't know what that represents. If you look in the original Donkey Kong arcade, when the barrels roll, one side of the barrel has like a line, the other has a dot. I don't know what that's supposed to be on a barrel. Maybe I just don't know barrels good enough. But yeah. Here, we're going to finally, after I color that in, and I give it a little bit of transition to kind of give it some artificial shading just off the bat. And then here, you see I start the shading process. I kind of just select all the color, and then I put a dark layer over it. You see here, I kind of messed up a little bit. But yeah, I put this layer over, and then I wanted to really make the lighting come from below. I mean, maybe it doesn't make that much sense because like the pillars in the way, but still, I thought it made Donkey Kong look really intimidating. That's kind of what I wanted to get across, right? I really wanted like a good sense of scale where Donkey Kong's just looming over Mario, right? And then like about to attack him, and then Mario is about to like swing the hammer and whatnot. I think it's just a really cool action scene. I think some parts of it could like have a little bit more emotion to it, if that makes sense, right? There could, I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I think there could be a little bit more emotion in there. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. You can see here, I'm doing the shading. When I shade fur, I like to kind of do a little bit more randomized, so it can kind of look like the illusion of texturing, because that's kind of where texturing comes from. It's the shading. So yeah, that's what I decided to do there. But I think it turned out really cool, and just the shading I think is cool, and I just really like this whole piece. You can see at the end I do an alternate one where I kind of make it look like an OG like Donkey Kong poster, where I had like the Nintendo logo and the Donkey Kong on the side. So yeah, you'll see that at the end. You'll see the final piece at the end. But yeah, I'm just really happy with this. If y'all want to see more kind of singular art pieces like this, where it's not like character designs, let me know. I don't know how well it's gonna do, but yeah, I'm really happy with it. If y'all like the video, leave a like, subscribe, go watch the 2011 from Rango. Y'all have a nice rest of the day. I'm just saying this now because I'm bad at timing it, like for when the video ends. Also, I had some rim lighting, some pink rim lighting, because the floor is pink, and I thought it would be cool. I'm getting like lots of Discord notifications. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but it's kind of annoying. But yeah, and then also later you can see I separate the highlights from the fur and the highlights from everything else, because I like to do the highlights all one color. However, it does look a little bit too bright in some places. For example, I think on the fur it looks too bright, so I end up kind of separating the highlights on the fur and the highlights on everything else, so then I could kind of lower the opacity of the fur highlights, so it just doesn't look it doesn't look as bright as it does compared to the fur, if that makes sense. I don't know if that does, but you see here, I do that in just a second. And then yeah, the background is just kind of a kind of dark blue, just to kind of represent the original background of the Donkey Kong game. It's all black, so I did kind of dark blue transition where lights come from. And you see here, I separate the layers, and then yeah. All right, y'all enjoy the rest of the post. Let's check it out. So here it is. Just in a second here, we're gonna finish this up. Just need to do just a little bit more stuff to the scaffolding, and here's the final piece. And then here is the Donkey Kong poster. Woohoo! Y'all have a nice one. Ciao.